Learning that your child has been diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder is a powerful, life-altering moment. You might feel relief at finally having an answer, or you might feel a wave of shock, sadness, or even denial. It's important to know that whatever you're feeling, it's valid. There's no right or wrong way to process this news. Many parents experience what's called cyclical grieving. This means that feelings of sorrow or helplessness can pop up again and again, often triggered by things like milestones, family events, or seeing other children do things your child hasn't yet. Whether you're in a stage of denial or you're ready to jump into advocacy, remember that your core goal hasn't changed. You want to help your child live a happy, fulfilling life. You are not alone on this journey. After receiving a diagnosis, time can feel like it's moving incredibly fast. Research shows that early, intensive intervention can make a huge difference because young brains are so adaptable. But with so much information out there, the right first step isn't always clear. A great place to start is by asking your provider some very specific questions. For example, how exactly does autism affect my child's communication and behavior right now? What are their unique developmental strengths that we can build on? And based on their specific needs, which therapy should we prioritize first, like speech, occupational therapy, or behavioral therapy? Getting these answers will give you a clearer roadmap. If your child is approaching school age, like heading into full-day kindergarten, communication with the school is absolutely critical. You are your child's best advocate. You'll want to ask the teachers some practical questions. How do you typically handle frustration in the classroom? What do transitions between activities look like, and how can we make them smoother for my child? How will you support their specific communication needs, and are there any strategies in place to help with things like naps or quiet time if they get overwhelmed? Don't be afraid to be detailed. The more the school knows, the better they can support your child's success. Now, let's talk about the different types of therapies because you'll likely hear a lot of conflicting advice. It's really helpful to understand the main philosophies. One of the most well-known is applied behavior analysis, or ABA. Many organizations promote ABA as a scientifically validated treatment that focuses on changing observable behaviors and teaching new skills through a system of reinforcement. It's very structured and data-driven. On the other hand, there's an approach called Dear Floor Time. This model focuses more on emotional development and building relationships. Proponents of DIR argue that therapy shouldn't force a child to act normal, like making eye contact if it causes them distress. The priority here is genuine engagement and connection, not just compliance. Then there's a growing movement called neurodiversity affirming care. This approach encourages us to see autism not as a deficit that needs to be fixed, but as a natural and valuable form of human variation. Neurodiversity affirming therapists prioritize a child's sensory needs, their autonomy, and their right to self-advocacy, instead of trying to make a child fit into societal norms. The focus is on celebrating their strengths and giving them the tools they need to thrive as they are. When you're choosing a provider, ask them directly about their philosophy. Do they prioritize compliance, or do they prioritize your child's emotional regulation and long-term well-being? We also have to talk about the financial reality. The lifetime cost of care for a person with autism can be significant, ranging from $1.4 to $2.4 million. This number can be scary, but there are resources available. The first thing you should do is investigate your health insurance. Many states have laws that require insurance companies to cover behavioral health therapies like ABA. Next, look into government aid programs like Medicaid and Supplemental Security Income, or SSI, to see if your family qualifies. It's also wise to start budgeting for out-of-pocket costs. These can include co-pays, specialized equipment, or therapies that aren't fully covered. And don't be afraid to advocate, even fight, for your child. Some parents have successfully lobbied their school districts or even pursued legal avenues to get the necessary funding for their child's treatment. It's also so important to remember that an autism diagnosis affects the entire family. Siblings might feel a mix of emotions, jealousy over the extra attention, confusion about their siblings' behavior, or even embarrassment. It's crucial to have open and honest conversations with them early and often. Teach them how to play with their brother or sister in a way that works for both of them, and validate their own feelings and experiences. Create a space where they feel heard and supported too, and that brings us to you, the parents. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Taking care of yourself is not a luxury. It's a necessity. look into respite care providers. These are trained individuals who can give you a much-needed break, even for just a few hours, to help prevent burnout. For couples, keep the lines of communication wide open. You and your spouse might react to the diagnosis differently, and that's okay. Talk through your feelings and support each other. Finally, build your village. Isolation is a very common feeling for parents in your shoes, but connecting with other families who get it can be an absolute lifeline. Find a local support group or an online community. Sharing your journey with others who understand can make all the difference. As you look toward the future, it's true that the landscape of services changes as children become adults. There is a real need for more research and support for adults with autism when it comes to things like housing, employment, and overall quality of life. The journey doesn't end at age 18, but the ultimate goal through all of this is self-determination. It is about helping your child grow into an adult who can lead a life that is driven by their own choices, their own preferences, and their own interests. You may have had a certain picture in your mind of what your child's life would look like, what some call a brick house of expectations. It's okay to grieve the loss of that picture. But as you move forward on this new path, you might just find that the view from where you are is more beautiful and more profound than you ever could have imagined. Thank you for watching.